We will request you to also unmute your microphone and your video. But if you have challenges with activity, you are welcome to switch off your video. Honorable Mkalipi, over to you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Greetings to the Mayor of eThekwini and the team. I would like to introduce the members of the community that is here with me. As you can see that I'm wearing a mask on the meeting, Chairperson. We are together here. The Secretary of the Project Steering Committee, Mduduze Hadebe, Steering Committee of Bombay, which is the VD under Ward 42, and the committee member, Ekemi Mtechane, from VD of Brooks Farm. The petition is from Ward 52 residents of Bombay, Kwamamba, Maori, and Brooks Farm. The petition consisted of 14 items that is in front of the committee. Number 1 is about housing projects. Number 2 is about roads. Number 3 is about drainages. Number 4 is about food parcels that are given to a well-known people of African National Congress members, and the poor don't receive the food parcels. Number 5 is the vouchers are only given to African National Congress members. Number 6 is about satellite primary health facility. And number 7 is about satellite police station facility. And number 8 is about electricity contractor that the community were hoping that he will help them to put electricity, but suddenly they left. They only installed few houses, about 20 of them, but the project costed 14 million. Number 9 was a main contractor called GLX, underpaying members of the community. Number 10 is about multi-purpose center worth 30 million. Number 11 is about ward committees having 2 wages, such as Ujabu Stole, Upulani Chamane, Umhlabunzima Gazu, and Lindani Mkhize. Number 12, only members of the African National Congress are deployed in Bombay Ward 52. Number 13, only members of the ANC can be a subcontractor if there is a project in Bombay in Ward 52. Number 14, Ward Councillor, Boxer, Zulu, very rude and arrogant, and he put himself before the community. Those were items that were sent to the Speaker's office, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mkalipi. Colleagues, the petition has been forwarded to us and also as alluded to by Honorable Mkalipi. I would now hand over to Honorable Councillor Mxolisi Kaunda, the Executive Mayor of eThekwini Metropolitan, to take us through and get the response in relation to the petition. Once that process is done, we'll then discuss as members and propose way forward while we're engaging with the said petition. Councillor Kaunda, you will also indicate from your side if you want any of your delegation to also respond to certain issues. You will be in charge of the session in relation to allocating speakers from your side. Over to you. You have 20 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and once again, greetings to all members of the Portfolio Committee. We thought we should be reflecting as well on the issue which on the 14th of May, the committee also raised with us very sharply, the issue of Mr. Cele who lived in a bush. So it's proper that the committee is also updated on that issue. They will just beam the presentation in relation to that. It's a very short presentation before we get into the matters that are raised in the petition. Greeting to the members of the Community Development Committee as well, or activist. So, Chair, we'll just take you through on the said date. The honorable member of this committee raised a concern about Mr. Cele after she watched a broadcasting on SABC News, who was referred to as a person without proper housing. Then we reverted to different people, and Mr. Njilo, the former mayor of Umsunduzi Municipality, who's a business person working with other business people around eThekwini. They came on board, they responded, and they have been able to build the house. The house is now completed. The issue of electricity has been connected by the municipality there so that you can start receiving the free electricity. Those are the photos that shows you how the house is constructed. You can look at the ceiling board as well. It's there to make sure that during COVID-19, the house is warm. There are curtains. You can move to the next slide. That's a kitchen. That's a lounge, which is also part of the contributions we received from different people in the municipality. We also have furniture in the bedroom, as we have seen. That's Mr. Kele now seated in his comfortable couch. He's happy with the house that he has received. There is water there now and electricity. So this is how we have responded on the issue. We can say this is a good story to tell before we get into the other matters, Honorable Chairperson. Then I'll request that DCM Mpagati, the Deputy City Manager, and Mr. Pato will be presenting on the issues responding to the petition that was raised to us by the Office of the Speaker. So I'll hand over to them just to run through the presentation. Of course, we are allocated these few minutes. They'll try to be brief, but we were detailed in responses. And I'm hoping that the members of the Portfolio Committee have received the response in writing, which give detailed account on the number of issues which the municipality has responded to. Thank you very much, Chair. Let me hand over to DCM Mpagati.
Good evening, members of the Portfolio Committee. Good evening, Chair. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, the leadership of SALCA, my city manager, and my colleagues. Without further ado, Mayor, can we comment with the housing responses? The head of Human Settlement, Lawrence Pato, is going to take us through, and I will quickly come in to go through petition item number 2 and 3, which is roads and drainage. Thank you. Through you, Chair.
Good evening, Chairperson, members of the Portfolio Committee, colleagues, and all protocols observed. We have prepared a presentation, and coupled with the presentation, of course, that the members would have received is a Word document. It captures, but the presentation, of course, will go quicker in terms of the time allocated. We have covered these are the projects falling under this Ward 52, Bombay Housing Project, the Greater Amaoti, Brooks Farm Rectification, and Storm Disaster. Next slide. The Bombay Housing Project is divided into 3 phases. The phase 1, first phase, Pet Mashaba, which is Bombay phase 1 extension of 474 sites. Then we've got Juba, Blose, 150 sites. Then we have, I don't know if the members are seeing the presentation on that side. Okay.
Yeah,
then
yes.
Okay, thank you. The Bombay phase 1 is 973 sites. Next slide. Okay, this is the when you talk about Pet Mashaba, this is the piece of the project that is undergoing the planning stages. Now, on your left-hand side, we are detailing the stages where it is, and anticipated timeframes is what is projected in red. So under stage 1 funding, we're anticipating to have the funding in August 2020, The submission has been done, but there were some outstanding matters between the other line and departments to be adhered to. That's why anticipation is August 2020. Professional team is on board. Stage 2 talks about your Pluma approvals, detailed engineering designs. Again, they will reflect the targeted dates. Stage 3 start to talk about the implementation, tender preparation of document, tender process, installation of services and houses. Again, you can see on your right hand side the projected time frames of when each one will happen. Next slide. Now, next slide, this talks to while you're doing planning, there were some sites, there was a site that was zoned for school sites within the same area. Now, we in collaboration, of course, and talking through other line Department of Education, this is the letter that proves that I have received a letter that warrants the municipality to use it for human settlement purposes. And of course, when there were delays, that letter had not been received. But again, now this is just proof. We've received it just before the lockdown, 17th of March. Thank you. Next slide. This slide now talks about Jabu Glossy housing project. It's also undergoing feasibility stage, where you're dealing with land issues and environmental issues that are being resolved. You've got professional team on board. There's pieces of lands here. One piece is owned by the municipality, other privately owned Juma land, Gandhi land, and then in the Juba process. So there's approximately 150 families located within the land that is owned by the trust. Land assembler in the process of finalizing its donation. Gandhi Trust people or owners have willingly giving the land up for the development. The parcel of land that is owned with it, unfortunately, is falling within the wetland, and you could not do a project in the wetland. Real estate is finalizing the issue of transfer of land from Gandhi to eThekwini. Updated environmental specialist studies are being completed, and we're targeting between August and December of this year. So the environmental and approval, we're anticipating it to happen in December 2021. Next slide. Then we have the Bombay Phase 1 housing project. This is the project that has happened under Section 21 company, 973 sites. It's in the close-out stages. The submission made by Cooperative for planning approvals, which was transferred to eThekwini. You will recall the portfolio will know that the projects that were undergoing previous legislations in terms of planning were all returned back to municipalities. eThekwini was one of them in terms of this one. But the unfortunate thing, there were encroachments, of course, in the layout that had to be amended for approval, which will have to affect the transfer of title deeds. Next slide. This slide now talks into details as you go for title deeds of that. You've got title deeds restoration program, which is a national program, and of course eThekwini we amongst those metros that had a huge number. Professional team is appointed to amend the layout plan. We're working with the professional team that is dealing with that part of course, you have to amend the layout plan, complete it, and submit, get the correct lot numbers and GP, so that when you issue a title deed, there is no issue about ukubanga kwemingcele. Next slide. This is continuation, of course, of the process that I've talked about and anticipated timeframes up until you reach the stage of registration of the transfers and title deeds. Then you've got the Greater Maori project. This is amongst the catalyst projects of eThekwini Municipality in the northern area, and it's an in-situ upgrade. These are the hectares in terms of the extent of it, located across these wards as demonstrated 52, 53, 56, and 102. The project is aiming to yield 20,000 housing opportunities. Stage 1 of it has been granted already by MEC of Human Settlement in the province. Contract was concluded 2018. Professionals are on board, of course, working in the project since October 2019 via KZN DOHS. Next slide. These are the time frames now, members of the portfolio, that are talking, and in terms of the discipline, your geotech, civil engineering, town planning, the milestone in each one, also indicating the pieces of land within Amaodi. You've got your Lusaga, those are the names that are reflected there in terms of the milestone, and then you've got your targets in terms of when are we anticipated to have each one of those studies being completed, and then the status on the far right that says whether it's in progress, complete, or have not started. Next slide. Now this is again a summary of the major milestones and timeframes: draft layout plan, July 2020, and engineering studies as reflected, EIA presumption of this Pluma obtained environmental studies to 2022. I must say this project had some delays. It's one of the biggest, and it's an in-situ upgrade. Not to say the other projects that are greenfields are happening easy, but of course we have had instances and delays in the project with the professional team, but we're working jointly with the province to make sure that we recover the time period that it has, and every time we try to speed up and make sure that we will be able to deliver, finish at least the planning. Mayor is on us every day to make sure that can we get better dates in terms of what we have, like you see this Pluma 2022. Next slide. Now this slide talks about the Brooks Farm Housing Project. These are the yields, completed houses to be constructed. The project has 55 substantial structures that were beneficiary were not willing. Of course, in any old project, you will find a certain number of people that would have built their own projects, their own houses. And of course, you as government, you could not touch a structure that a original beneficiary has amended or have extended to it. That's what the note is talking about in here. Next slide. Now, there were issues that were raised within the petition about the under Brooks Farm, and the first item that was raised about the project commercializing officer, Mr. Gazu, was employed by the unit human settlement to deal with social issues within the project, and he was recruited through interview process. We do a normal process of recruitment for them. Then the second item that was raised, following are the numbers of what was raised in terms of the houses, and we're giving a description of what happened in each of the houses. Like lot number 1640, the site was not enough to fit 40 square meter, and the beneficiary refused to demolish the existing house. House can only be positioned as per approved layout. Again, this is where you find some people are comfortable with what we do not come and dictate to people that they must do what we want them to do. As long as they are satisfied, we listen to the people, hence the facilitation that is done. And you can see the comments as I go to 1738 as well is more or less the same, and that the beneficiary, of course, refusing to demolish his house and could not fit the 40 square meter, again, are challenges that you get to encounter. Next slide. Remembering, Member of Parliament, that these houses, the old projects, were done, the standard of planning of today, which is approximately 400 square meters, is not what was during the 1996 to 2000. The square meterage of the houses, of the sites, was ranging anything between 150 square meters to 200 square meters. Now, of course, when you come with today's standards of 40 square meters to fit into that site where people have built, it becomes a challenge, especially when it comes to the recreation. That's why you will see these such comments that are here. And of course, the issue of NHBRC regulation coming in to alter private, hence existing, could not demolish. It's the same thing, members, as I go along the description you can read. Next slide. Again, 1890, beneficiary refused to demolish big existing structure to fit 40 square meter. Of course, it makes sense. You've got your own extended house. Now, why? And people feel there's no need to do that. Beneficiary refused to get a 40 square meter. On 1830, 1869, house was built. Contractor will resume in August to complete the 5 that we've shown at the job that have not been attended to. Next slide. The allocation issue. Within the project, the project was rectification. So in rectification project, you've got people already approving the system years ago. and allocated. Now you come back to redo the houses or repair the house or rectify the houses. Then you find, of course, you pick up a tension between the approved beneficiaries, and in some cases, some of the people would have left and some are in the houses. But under this one of the most fundamental issue that we found in terms of double sites allocation was amongst 10 families, which we are dealing with it to look at them so that we don't have any beneficiary that is found stranded. Next slide. So it's an allocation beneficiary issues again, that which we are dealing with it. Now, we also had storm disaster that has happened. Within eThekwini, we prone to disasters during the rainy seasons. First disaster happened in 2017, where 25 informal houses were affected within Ward 42, and 10 units have been completed, 5 slabs completed, outstanding 13 units are under construction as we speak, and we anticipated to have these completed. Chair, we hoping to have this completed 13 houses by the end of August. I'm making correction on the September. It takes you lesser time to do that. Then we have April 2019 storm. This happened last year, and then within this ward, 8 informal houses within Ward 42. The requirements to NHBRC, of course, is when you are rebuilding your houses, you have to follow new processes in terms of studies, geotech studies, so that they can inform you of a type of lab to put. So that's what has been happening, and now the contractor is on the ground, anticipated to start following 2 weeks to come mid-August. We were, of course, being delayed by the COVID-19, and in some of the cases, that's why resuming of work, we've started it since we've been to level 3. That is the end of the presentation, Chairperson. Greater Maori, that's just the picture that shows the Greater Maori. But Chairperson, through you, let me touch on the issue of electricity, which was the petition. The electricity contractor left the site, of course, due to COVID-19. The contractor have re-established on site. Communication with the ward councillor have been made that on Monday he will be on site, and he has given us an indication. I've spoken to the colleague of mine, the head of the unit, that within 2 months, between August and September, the houses will be completed by then, all of them to be connected. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Pato. Honorable Mayor, who else?
DCM Mpagati will come in.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairperson. I will come in and take the committee from petition number 2 and all other city-related matters. Catherine White here is going to present on our behalf. There's a report that has been sent by the mayoral office. This is the consolidated report that we've prepared. So on the report that you have, committee member, we'll start from page 10, just so that we avoid exchanging reports. So Catherine will put it up, but my understanding is that committee members do have it. The responses, comments in page 10. I think what we were reflecting here, honorable members, is that there has been service delivery previously within the ward, and the content are greatly noted. But in the previous financial years, where budget has been made available, these were the following roles that we had embarked upon, just to take a bit of history so that we can ascertain that there has been commitment before. On the next page, so these are the 3 roles that we've done. I think the next page is the continuation of the work that we've done. We've just picked up some of the few years that we've emerged from, as it can be seen that these are the various budgets that has been embarked upon. I think the major infrastructure that has been done in that area is D403, which is an extremely significant road that links multiple wards, but also cut through Ward 52, where the city have spent over 20 million in dealing with that ward. What we then put forward in responding to the roads, as the petition precisely raised issues around lack of road development within the area. We have planned roads related to the area. We currently have commenced financial year 2021, where various passages within the area have been planned. As it can be seen, these are just types of passages and the areas that we are focusing on within Ward 52. I think we do have a program that is spearheaded by the mayoral office and also seated directly at the city manager's office, which is the community infrastructure program. So we're embarking on that program, and Ward 52 had been prioritized as part of the northern procurement that we've recently concluded within the city. That program. I think the next item, I'm not sure why we had technology issues. I think Tab is going to put it up again. The next item I will proceed talks to Dudu Shange pedestrian bridge, which is 36 meters long. Again, is an estimated value of 3 million, which is another project that is planned for implementation in this financial year. And the preliminary design had been complete. The technical studies, including the environmental impact assessment, are done. Design and SCM are in progress. So we are confident that we'll be able to hit the ground running in the construction. We currently in July. We're earmarking that towards the end of July. We currently in July 2020. We're earmarking that the processes will have flown till next financial year, and we'll pick up in July 2021 for implementation. On page 13. Page 13 is just the images that just is evidence of some of the work that we've implemented within the area, and some of the work that we've identified as being an issue. I think this is the access that currently had existed in Brooks Farm, which is which we've proposed for upgrade, and this is a bridge also on the right-hand side that the city has embarked upon. That's a reflection on what is critical and key. The next slide talks to maintenance-related issues, because as part of the roads, we separate into new programs and the maintenance. There is additional maintenance in which, again, pertaining the accesses that links two communities, Mamba community and the Brooks Farm community. We had, as a result of the storm disaster, April 2019, if you go up a bit so that the disaster can be seen, this bridge got dilapidated, as it can be seen. So we have prioritized again to ensure that it's part of the storm disaster that occurred in April 2021. And I'm aware that in previous storm, this has been heavily affected. But as part of the program of storm, this 12-kilometer has been added as the priority, and the investigation work to rehabilitate this bridge is currently in progress and underway.
My apology. You're saying when did the storm occur? April when?
We've had a set of storm which was large in nature in April 2019, but there was also a previous storm in October 2017. In the northern area specifically in December 2019, again, it was affected by the storm. So this one, the extreme damage occurred after the storm of April 2019. So because previously we've tried dealing with this bridge in, I will say, in a very lighter manner. And currently the investigation is to look at a more broader design so that we ensure that it stands the test of future storm that we are anticipating. So we currently are busy with the designs as a result of the investigation. So it was April impact storm that actually brought us back into this bridge and looking at a different solution either than what we've done before.
Thank you.
Proceeding to the stormwater responses. Again, these are a list of stormwater projects. If you just go up the report that have been undertaken in the area, I think this is just a reflection just to present to the Honorable Chair and the Honorable members that there has been work that has been prioritized in previous years. Yes, we do take into cognizance that maybe it is not extensive in nature, but there has been an intention within the municipality to actually focus on this area and other areas within the city. Further down, this is just the stormwater upgrade itself. Currently, this is further work that we've done in previous financial years. We'll just proceed as we take that this report has been received timely for the members to appropriately read the report. We want to go on what is planned as at this current financial year. 2021, again, there's a infrastructure work by way of V-trains to deal with the stormwater attenuation in Bombay as part of the stormwater upgrade work that is currently undergoing tender processes. And we anticipate that by the end of August this year, we'll be able to conclude those processes and implementation will commence. And they, again, on the basis of what had collapsed as a whole as part of the storm damages, we are currently at a award stage with the contractor, and we have received a program from our engineers that on the 18th of August, they will be able to kick ground in that particular piece of infrastructure. Further down, we have prioritized work in Dube Village, that's opposite Dube Village, which is again a stormwater upgrade, and which is an extensive stormwater pipe from the MR25 discharge, which is a very significant collection point of rainwater. We are trying to identify funding. It's an issue that we're currently dealing with as a city, and the documentation is in progress. We're not stopping by way of that. We're saying that it's unfunded because, as it is known, I'm sure honorable members know that we have received global budget cuts as a result of COVID. So some of the program needed to be reprioritized. So we're proceeding with the documentation, the tender processes, but we are also restructuring our funding so that we can be able to realize funding for this, unfortunately, which was impacted by the funding cut that stems from national government in terms of our grants. On the next slide, this is a stream crossing that we've also undertaken in the ward, just to ensure issues of safety, not only from disasters, but also from connecting communities. On the next program, through you, Chair, I am gonna enable the report to flow with ease. So some of the responses here touches the mayoral, the issues of the mayor, but the Operation Sukumasake is a program that the mayor presented previously. So as part of the operations team that's on the ground, when this walkabout in terms of the areas that are focus in a particular Operation Sukumasake, there has been identified areas of focus. This is a list that we have concluded from the mayoral office as part of the consolidated report. And we're currently busy with this assessment in different areas of focus, specifically in Ward 42. So there are various areas that we're looking at in Brookfield, Bombay, stormwater blockage. We're looking at Namawoti in Tanzania and as an area, looking at the pedestrian bridge. Again, these matters were even closely identified when we came close to the ground via the Operation Sukumasake initiative. And some of the floods, if you can, please don't run too quick, Tabi. Some of the houses that were flooded as a result of blockages of stormwater. So we have been able to respond to some of these issues. For an example, the issue of Inanda Newtown next to the school in Bombay, we were able to plug in our teams on the ground immediately to address that issue, and that matter has been re-inspected and ensure that the flow of stormwater is running appropriately. In Bombay area, we were able to unblock some of the sewer pipe that we identified. We do have a big challenge of illegal dumping that causes blockages in our sewer stormwater infrastructure. So we have to inspect quite regularly to ensure that those blockages are not again done. But coupled with that, there is an intention for the issues of solid waste within the city to be dealt with. Next slide. Next page. I think my colleague Ubabu Pato has covered a lot of this background. It does talk to the linkages of some of the infrastructure program within human settlement. I'm not gonna dwell into it. And the understanding that there is a very focused team that works in collaboration so that we can understand some of the informalities that happen and how therefore roads and stormwater need to respond to these issues. Therefore, the issues around the drainage systems then is incorporated as part of the incremental services that respond to the informal settlement upgrading. The further response for maintenance. So, There are various responses that we've undertaken around specifically the routine maintenance and the initiatives that we've undertaken. Herewith is a list of some of the issues per item that we've done. There are roads that are running in between the informal settlement, as I've stated earlier. The background was talking to that has formed part of the incremental services. And over the past 24 months, we've been improving those areas and ensuring that we are utilizing other forms of surfacing like stabilized crushed stone to ensure that there is vehicular access, notwithstanding the size of those accesses. We've utilized some of the method of construction to make sure that we're able to access narrow areas and not relocate people too much and make them lose their livelihood. I think over the past 18 months, if you go further slightly down, there has been extensive road construction within those areas, simply to provide access and enable some of the emergency vehicles to be able to access those areas. We've currently, as part of our maintenance program, we have a regular blading of gravel road that happen. And we've done, I think there was an issue that was raised by the councillor as well, which on a specific house, which we've responded to on the 22nd of July. The regraveling of, as part of our annual contract, we've got 3 major contracts within the city that deals with the regraveling. So we've been on the ground in this area as well. And we've updated the councillor to make sure that continuously we do this work, and our next regraveling is due in October 2020. And again, there is some of the stream canals that we've looked at. We've again engaged with the councillor to ensure that this work has been done, and there's acknowledgement that we've responded to such issues. So the maintenance work is generally all over within the city, and it's a reactive work that we deal with as and when required. But there is proactive work like the regrading and the regraveling that happens through a structured major contract. So this is some of the work that we've done. We've just gone through a detail as reported by inspections team. There is an annual stormwater cycling basis inspection that we do, and Bombay and Redfern are some of the areas that have been part of this inspection. We've commenced some of the additional inspection over and above our cycle to make sure that we don't leave anything out. And again, every second month, 2 months, bi-monthly, we do this work. There's a cleaning program that happens internally via our operations team. And we were on the ground on the 20th of July. And again, we were impacted by the lockdown. Otherwise, as we're not part of the essential service as roads and stormwater, so we couldn't really operate. So we understood that there was a lot of backlog in terms of our work. But we're back full steam now, and we're attending to all these queries as part of our normal routine. If we proceed. And this is some of the work that we've done in terms of the construction of accesses. We'll just go through that. I think the next is images, just indicating this is exactly in Ward 52, the work that we're doing in between houses, as we try and not disrupt too much and demolish the houses, but we make sure that there is at least one vehicular access within these areas. And this is done through appropriate surfacing that is approved by engineering standard. Proceed. This is just some of the work, some of the stormwater maintenance work that happens, some of it that are touched on in terms of the 20th of July. The teams have been on the ground, and again, we work with local communities to deal with this. I think those are just graphics. The next response, if I'm allowed, Chair, is from page 28. It's a response that will be covered by the Honourable Mayor because it talks to food parcel. But for completeness, I wanted to go to, and some of the responses are province. If you allow us, we apologize because we're going to be going backwards. I can go to page 33, which then respond to the electricity contractors, so that I can just complete my report, and we'll be able to go back to other areas that are covered by province, as well as covered by our leadership in this meeting. In the first issue, it's item 10, which is a response against petition number 3.8, the electrification in Bombay. We're saying that the work had been reissued to the contractor, and currently there is administrative work that we're busy sorting with the contractor for those houses to be connected and continue smoothly. So the program itself is going to commence in the next week. So that is being attended to, and we're confident that the contractors are going to touch the ground in respect of that response. Further down is an issue that was again raised.
My apology. Can you also at least give us a sense what happened to the contractor? Why did the contractor left in the first place?
Do you want me to do that now, Chair? My
Yes.
colleague.
As per the petition, it is indicated here that the contractor suddenly left and only installed electricity to about 20 houses. So I wanted to give you a comprehensive response, and unless you're saying someone else will touch base on that, it's fine. You can then proceed.
Please, Chair, because there is the head of electricity, and my colleague Lawrence will touch base.
No problem.
Thank you, Chair. The next talks to the response on the main contractor called GLX, who was underpaying. If you can go down the list. We've done an assessment with I think this firstly states that the city is very much committed on the radical transformation, and really the exploitation of labours is something that we deal with very sharply. And our blacklisting committee has blacklisted quite a lot of contractors who had embarked on such. So there is a committee that is structured, which is led by the DCM Economic Development, and which also is championed politically by the Honourable Mayor. So if we go down, the economic development colleagues have done an assessment in terms of their contract management systems, and they cannot locate this contractor. And I think the response that we're giving is that the main contractor called GLX, which underpaying the members, the municipality have no knowledge. In line with our contract management system, it does not reflect that we've given work to this contractor. This is a response that we've received, and not that they're doing work currently. That we can expand on if there is any further question. But that's our contract systems had reflected that we had not embarked in any contract with this contractor. Hence, the economic development could not pick up at all this contract. Therefore, our response is as such. If I go down to...
Can I just get an understanding? Are you saying this contractor or subcontractor is not part of any project within your area? Is that what you're saying?
In respect of the issue that we've received, GLX as a main contractor, as it was deemed in the petition that this contractor never paid, the main contractor called GLX is not part of our supplier details in respect of any contract within this ward. That is what our record has indicated to us. We cannot pick up any subcontractors because generally they are connected to main contractors. We went by way of our main contract. For us to ascertain some of the responses, we needed to understand from the contractor, but we could not locate them in the contract database and previous work that we might have given to them.
So there is no work that is currently undertaken by GLX with the municipality?
In the context of the petition, no. In respect of Ward 52, no. As we are aligning the issues of underpaying people in respect of contracts that happen within the ward.
Okay, so outside Ward 52, you do have work that has been awarded to GLX.
It is common cause, yes. Outside Ward 52, GLX is not a person that has not operated within the system of government, specifically the city, yes. But we did not embark on assessing contracts that were unrelated to the petition.
Okay.
The colleagues can add later, if you may allow me. The responses on
I'm trying to tick all issues that you have responded to so that we can make a follow-up on those that we have not responded to. So within the surrounding of Ward 52, the contractor named GLX, is he undertaking work within the surrounding areas, or work that is conducted by this contractor, it is far from the said area? It might be possible that it's not specifically within Ward 52, and there might be community members residing in Ward 52 working somewhere else outside Ward 52 under this contractor. So if I can just get a sense, how did the matter arise? And when we are debating, the honorable member will also expand, but so that I have a sense of issues that have been addressed, and then I tick them off. If possible, you are privy to such.
Can I come in, Chair?
Yes, please.
Honorable Chair, can you recognize me?
Who is indicating?
It's Mr. PM Zulu, the ward councillor in the ward.
Proceed, councillor.
No, I think I have to assist here to my honorable Mamu Mkalipi. The name is misleading, Chair. There is a contractor that is doing the road currently, but it's called GNS. That's why Mr. Mkalipi can't find it in the system of the council, because there's no such thing that we know. In my ward, there's only GNS contractor that is doing the road currently. I'm not sure whether it was a spelling issue or it was an error from the side of those petitioning the council. Thank you, Chair.
It's GNS or X.
Correctly so, Chair. So this is GNS, not
all right.
X.
Can I then, Honorable Mkalipi, is it possible that there was spelling error in relation to the company?
Yes, Chair, it's possible because it's a community member who writes this petition, but he is here, is going to allude to those specifics. But I would also like to say, Chairperson, if it's only GLX and GNX, if the difference is N, so therefore the municipality could have corrected it to say that we don't have GLX, but we have GNX, and according to us as the municipality, this company is not underpaying people or is underpaying people, because we can see that it's just a slight mistake. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, cool. I assume that at this point in time, you won't be in a position, therefore, to respond whether or not GNS, the road construction company, pertaining the allegation of underpayment. If you do have such information, it will be great if you can respond. If not, we'll then have a way forward in relation to when should we expect such a follow-up. So it has been established that it was a spelling error. Please proceed, Mama Mkalipi.
Thank you, Chair. Indeed, at this moment, I won't be able to have a response, but we can establish when we can respond, because it's GNS. I think I'm clear now, the name of the contractor. The next issue talked to the response to community multipurpose that is worth 30 million. I think we just wanted to reflect that the city, yes, indeed, as part of the creation of the social infrastructure, has developed a multipurpose center across the city, and specifically in the area that, or within the precincts of Ward 52, which includes Bridge City. We wanted to note that these are facilitated by parks. If you go further down, the unit working with parks has delivered a hub in Bridge City, which also will service the communities of Ward 52 and other neighboring ward. And we wanted to present and note that as a result, again, if you don't go too quick, if as a result of COVID-19 and some of the economic issues that impact on it, we have reduced our budget, and some of those multi-purpose centers have been affected. We are watching very closely our revenue, and this is intended to recover, and we are foreseeing that we'll be able to restructure our budgets before the end of this financial year. So the current status that we have received from Parks is that this has been impacted heavily by the budgeting scenario that faces everyone. But the designs are across the areas where we need to build multipurpose center. Specifically, Ward 52 will continue so that we are ready should the issues change. The issues around the public facilities, having said that, generally the public facilities are done as a nodal infrastructure delivery rather than a ward. So we don't see the challenges of funding blocking the accessibility of public facilities within Ward 52. So in Bridge City, it's understood very clearly that there is various social infrastructure that exist that have always benefited communities at large, including communities of Ward 52. As much as it's a bit of a distance to travel, but it's very much accessible. But having said that, we're not saying that we are excluding the Ward 52 intention to create social facilities. It is certainly in our programs as a municipality. You go further down. I think the response now talks to ward committees. Chair, I think this is going to be covered by the Honorable Mayor. What I've not included here is the responses around the food parcels, which Uba Mayor will cover, and the Office of the Speaker as well. So from our side, I think we've covered all the responses that needed to come from the city officials specifically. Thank you very much.
Executive Mayor, please proceed. Councillor Kaunda.
Thanks, Chair. I'm back. I will start with the issue of the clinic. The response that we received from the Provincial Department of Health is that there are facilities that they are creating to ensure that people do have access to primary health care. There are also mobile clinics which are run, and the nearby clinics around the area of Amaoti, Newtown C, Kenside Clinic, which are servicing Ward 2. But the proposal is not being shut down in totality, but the indication is that the department is also experiencing financial constraints. So therefore, it's really target the radius, which is bigger than what is being practiced in this area. So the issue on the satellite police stations, which is also raised, the response from SAPS also indicates that the area of Bombay is covered by Phoenix Police Station. It's also covered by some areas by Inanda Police Station through Ivela, satellite police station, which also services the area of Bombay. There is an indication that Bombay is approximately 5 kilometers away from Ivela satellite police station, which may be less than that. It's not 5 kilometers, it's around 2 kilometers. Police station, and it's also accessible to the community. The situation from Inanda is that the radius is about 10 kilometers to the main police station at Inanda. In Amawoti, they're about, or in Etivela police station, there are about 13 police officers posts that have been created to service that area. In Brooks Farm, the area is also covered by SEPS Phoenix which is 8 kilometers away from the area. Wamamba is the area that is covered by both part of Inanda, SAPS, and part of Amaudi satellite police station. So they have no intention to build new or establish new satellites at the present moment. Since I have been the MEC in the Department of Community Safety, Inanda is one area which is engulfed by crime. So when the funds get available, we'll always persuade SAPS to create more facilities to Inanda because it's densely populated. Chair, the issue of food parcels. I think in the previous portfolio committee meeting in May, this question arose and I responded to it. And I did indicate that if there are allegations that there are people or councillors who have been given food parcels or distributing food parcels only to their friends, to their families, and all of that. So the evidence must be produced, and that can be undertaken through the office of the Speaker, because the whole responsibility to deal with councillors lies in the office of the Speaker. So if there is a challenge with the behavior of a councillor, we'll request that that issue is referred to the Speaker for consideration with evidence. So the perceptions may be there, but we must also give you an assurance that in all 110 wards of eThekwini municipality, we distributed food parcels, regardless of the party that is in government of that ward. So all parties, DA wards received, IFP ward, but we only distributed these food vouchers and food hampers through our OSS teams, working with the councillors and our teams from community participation unit of the municipality. So therefore, it was not only the sole responsibility of the councillor to distribute, but our teams were on the ground also intervening to assist councillors to ensure that distribution is done effectively. We must also indicate that so far, Honorable Chair, sorry, Chair.
Yes, no, my apology to interject. So just want to get clarity. So you're saying that distribution was done by OSM teams together with councillors. So councillors were involved in the distribution of the vouchers.
Definitely, in eThekwini, councillors were involved, and we explained that. In the province, we responded that when people vote for their own public representatives, so we can't disarm them of the representatives which they elected in majority. So therefore, councillors, you can't exclude them in the processes of distributing social relief, because they are part and parcel of the community and they are leaders of those communities. What we did not do as eThekwini, which was a request from PR councillors, PR councillors were insisting, because we, together with the Speaker, we convened a meeting with all political parties in the municipality before the distribution, so that we can take them through into confidence of what is going to transpire when it comes to the distribution of this social relief. But part of what PR councillors were raising is that, no, we hear you, but most of the wards are about 70 of wards are governed by the ANC. So in those wards, give PR councillors as well. Then we said that is when you'll be beginning with the process of politicizing the distribution of social relief. Social relief should not be distributed by ensuring that each and every PR councillor of any political party does receive his or her own share. But the ward councillor, as a person elected by the majority in that ward, needs to take that responsibility, working with our Operation Sugumasake teams and community participation. As a result, these teams were there assisting councillors in numbers in all wards of eThekwini. So therefore, we can be certain that there was no politicization of this program in the municipality. But where there is evidence, that evidence must be brought forward. But for now, the perceptions can't give us a leeway to investigate. So we'll appeal to the members of the community to give us names of the people that they assume they are the ones who are the recipients. But there's nothing wrong for the councillor to give a member of the ANC as long as that member does qualify and also meet the requirements that he or she has no income, source of income. So that member, even if you are the ANC, you deserve to receive food parcels. So therefore, we don't see anything wrong in that aspect, unless if we'll be given evidence that there was really some unbecoming behavior, which is backed by evidence in that regard. So I think that is our response, Chair, when it comes to that. The issues of the ward committee members.
Sorry, Chair, for interjecting.
Yes.
Honorable members will have an opportunity to engage. I was interjecting just to make sure that we get adequate responses so that we are not limited in terms of understanding the response. Proceed, Councillor Kaunda.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. When it comes to the response in relation to ward committee members having been assigned to undertake other responsibilities like being the CLOs, there's nothing that precludes them to participate because ward committees are not employed by the municipality. They get incentive from the municipality, not a wages, not a salary. So an honorarium, maybe that's a correct word, an honorarium. So that's what they receive as a facility. So therefore, when there are opportunities in the ward, you can't say they are precluded to access those opportunities because they belong to the ward and they must follow due processes to be appointed whenever there are opportunities. So we must indicate, Chair, that they are not prohibited to access such opportunities. The issues that were also raised, that the municipality recruitment and supply chain management policy respectively does not discriminate work seekers and entrepreneurs based on their affiliation to a political party. So the council has got nothing to do with the appointment of companies in the ward, but the municipality and the relevant department carry that responsibility to ascertain that when the main contractor is appointed, the call will be made for subcontracting within that particular area where the project is being implemented. All vacant posts and tenders are advertised and due processes are followed all the time so that qualifying candidates can be appointed. I think the last matter, Chair, the response in relation to Councillor Zulu. The matter has been escalated to the Speaker's office, and during the discussion with the above mentioned ward councillor, allegations were not proven, and the members will also be afforded by the Speaker to give more evidence on the accusations that they are laying against the councillor. He refuted all the allegations leveled against him. So he is here. He can talk for himself as well. So in conclusion, Chair, the municipality views complaints from committees on service delivery and governance matters very seriously. We appreciate the oversight that is provided by national, provincial government over our city to ascertain that service delivery is not compromised. We hope responses provided in this report address the complaints raised with us as a municipality. Where there are any outstanding concerns, we'll continue to follow up to ensure that matters are addressed adequately. We must indicate, Chair, we do not conduct our work of service delivery because we are being pressurized, whether through a petition. A petition is the right which the Parliament affords the citizens of this country because the Constitution emphasizes on the participatory democracy, that people should really be part and parcel of their development. And where they are not satisfied, even in Section 17 of the Constitution, it gives them the right to all these facilities, including demonstrations, as long as those demonstrations are peaceful and they are unarmed. So I think we'll always engage with issues as they are being brought before us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Kaunda, the Executive Mayor. So I take it you have concluded in terms of your responses together with your delegation.
I think so, Chair. I don't think there's something outstanding. We can be reminded if we omitted something, because we're moving very quickly.
No, thank you. I just wanted to ascertain whether or not we are not leaving anyone behind. The Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Faith Mutambi, has joined us. She will be taking over. So I just wanted to ascertain before we conclude, and I hand over to her, my apologies, to proceed with the meeting. You have concluded responding from your side, and all your delegation that needed to give account of the events have done so. Thank you so much, and we once again appreciate your time and the delegation that you've assembled. It indicates a metropolitan that indeed is serious about service delivery, and it's a listening municipality, for the mere fact that you are here as an executive mayor together with the ward councillor. You have extensively responded to issues relating to housing. You have also given us milestone projection for each housing project. You have also indicated the status update for the project. You've also alluded to the issue of stormwater program and maintenance. You've responded to road construction issues. You have also responded to the issues pertaining to the 30 million multi-purpose. In fact, almost all the issues you have responded to. And I'm sure there will be follow-up questions from members where they feel there are certain issues that you did not adequately respond to. But I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you and also call upon Honorable Faith Mutambi, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, to take over and will deal with the next item, the discussion amongst honorable members. Honorable Faith Mutambi, you are welcome to the meeting. You may please take over the reins so that I can adequately participate as an honorable member. Thank you once again, colleagues. The meeting will now be handed over to the chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Hadebe. I think you have already exhausted your question time. I want to appreciate you holding the fort. And good evening, colleagues. I'll start with Honorable Mkalipi. If there are issues that she wants, she will be the first one to interact with the presentation. Then the rest of you will follow. Honorable Hadebe, because he had already had some of the bites, he will be the last person to ask questions if he has got questions to ask. But nevertheless, I should want to also appreciate how detailed this response to the petition. I think Honorable Mkalipi, you must thank the executive mayor for having been detailed. We have dealt with petitions in the past, but I should think that in the way it's so detailed in the photos, it's a portfolio of evidence. That's what we'll appreciate, executive mayor and team. That will also assist Honorable Mkalipi, Honorable Lutuli, and Honorable Hussein to easily do their oversight. I think that presentation is appreciated. Then, Honorable Mkalipi, are the questions that you want to raise first?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chair, before you join us, we got your apology. I said to the committee members, I have two community members with me. So I don't know, Chair, where will they also come in? Because some of the responses that the municipalities have given to us, I think they must also get in to engage, especially with Bombay. Then I'll come with a Brooks Farm issue. So I'm asking for the direction from the Chair.
You can allow them. What's the names again for the purpose of record?
Okay, the Secretary of the Project Steering Committee of Bombay is Mduduzi Hadebe. He is the one who is vested with issues that pertaining Bombay. And I will come and then the other one is Kemim Techane, but I will take over the issue that is related to Brooks Farm. So it's only one committee member that is going to engage, Chair, is Mduduzi.
Okay. Honorable Mr. Mduduzi Hadebe, welcome to Parliament. Can I then hand over to you? I suppose there is social distancing there, Honorable Mkalipi.
Yes, Chair. As you can see, I'm away.
Okay, sure. Over to you, Mr. Hadebe.
Okay, thanks, Chair, for the opportunity. And once again, thanks for the members to allow.
Sound behind you, what's happening there? There's some upward sound. Can you deal with that sound? It's a bit disruptive.
There's nothing on us, Chairperson. Just talk.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Proceed.
Oh, okay. I would like to touch on the issue of housing, Chair, because according to the response that was given by the members, I think somehow there is some errors because of if I can start with the Pat Marshall project, which is extension phase 1 in Bombay. This project, we have been talking to the housing in Phoenix, who is the project manager, is Mr. Kamal Maharaj, about these projects, trying to raise issues because of the delay, because the first company that was appointed by the municipality, it was Gibbs, of which all the paperwork that was done was correct and everything was done. As I'm talking to you, there is a show house into that green field. Then again, another company was appointed by the municipality to do the very same thing that GIP has done for the same project, of which to us as a community, we experiencing some delay about this project, because according to the studies that was done by GIPS, everything was done correct. That is why there's a show house into that project. So now we are very much confused about now this company, of which is called Vuvama, now that is being employed by the municipality on the very same project, of which they are doing the same thing that was done by the Gibbs company, of which now as a community we very confused now, because we worried about the delay, because there is another project that need to follow after the Pat Marshall, of which it's Juba Plus. And the way that the community is squashed, that project is the project that should give a way forward for Juba Plus. So now, according to the response that was given by the municipality officials, to be honest, I am not happy. Even the ward councillor too, we have been engaging with the housing, trying to see what is the problem for the Pat Marshall project. Because the last meeting that we had, they said now the education, they are claiming back the land. We asked them how come, because there is a show house in that very same greenfield, meaning that everything was approved. All of a sudden, then again, they have appointed another company called Vuvama, who are doing the same thing that was done by IPS. That is our concern about this Pat Marshall project.
You've made your point. You want to say something, Honorable Mkalipi?
Yes, Chair. Yes, that is Bombay project. And what I can emphasize, Chair, is that if the municipality and the mayor will remember when he was here in front of the portfolio committee, I said to the mayor, the Department of Housing in his municipality does not have an open door policy. If you check on the petition, the community are saying that they've been knocking on the municipality for many years, from 2017 writing letters, but the municipality is not responding at all. As a result, that's why they said, let us come here to the portfolio committee. The mayor will remember that very well when I alluded to that fact. Even myself, when I try to engage with his officials at the municipality level, they don't respond. I want to talk about the Brooks Farm project, Chairperson. Firstly, let me thank the mayor for the response, because it's very detailed, as the chair was alluding to that fact. They took their time to respond to us in details, but the content of the response, as the secretary of this project steering committee, is not the thing that we agreed with. If I can give a little background in regards to Brooks Farm, those houses that they are claiming that the people did not want to demolish their houses, it's an old project as per the response, I agree. But the fact of the matter is that we have tried on several occasions, even the provincial level, the province of KZN is aware about this matter, to say that there is no proper communication to the residents of Brooks Farm. The one point, Chair, that I want to make a response to, if I can go to each and every houses that is listed there. Of course, I won't mention all of them. In 1810, house number 1810, mayor will be familiar about it, because mayor is very familiar about the place that you are talking about. So is the former councillor house for Ngobo. The councillor was Ngobo there. And let me just share with the committee what happened. When the project of ratification started, the CLO that I complained about in this committee about the attitude, how he treated the community. And I also want the response in regards to the, because we were told here, he went for an interview. The process was very open. If they can also clarify that one, because we can't even remember when the call for people who want to be CLO was made, and who applied, who did the interviews, how the community was also notified in terms of the interviews. I'm very interested to know that part. If they're saying the municipality boldly here, the interviews was very open. He was selected on the basis that he went to the interview, the selection part. And then this house that I want to make an example with. Firstly, the municipality, together with the CLO, they visited this house towards last year, and they told the old lady to demolish the outside structure in order to erect this new house. It's them who went there with the CLO, with the company. The old lady did as advised by the municipality. And the old lady is also saying that one of the officials by the name of Mahamsi was part of the delegation when she was told to demolish. The very same CLO came back with another people from the company saying that no, this area is not going to fit the house that needs to be built. Firstly, you have to ask yourself, Chairperson, why they didn't use the measurements before they tell the old lady to demolish the structure. The structure was also a proper structure. They were using that structure as a family. But because they want this new structure, they were told to demolish that one. When they come back for the second time, they told the old lady that no, we are not going to benefit because this area is not enough. Thirdly, when the old lady insists, because that lady can speak for herself, she insists to say that, no, you can't do that. I was sitting at my home, you came here, you said, no, you have done a proper job. When she insists, she was called at the office of the councillor after 2 to 3 months. And she was told they would know, we are not going to build your house because of 1, 2, 3. And she raises her concern about that. She goes, no, you can't come to me and then now we are changing. Who is going to pay me back my old house? That was that. So now on the weekend, because I have also talked about this issue, and the mayor, I'm sure, he also asked the department. They went to the lady just on the weekend and said to the lady, no, we are going to erect this new structure. What I'm trying, my point, Chair, what I'm trying to say to this committee, there is no proper communication to the Brooks Farm community, because the lady was told not to, and now this lady is going to benefit from these houses. So what I raised here was that the CLO is doing things emotionally. He just go and do as he please. There is no one who is able to protect the community in the CLO. And the community, when they also reported this conduct, no one prepared to listen. I even wrote a letter, it was 2015, about the same project to the minister. And the minister, it was Minister Sisulu by that time. And the minister tried to resolve it, but also the Department of Housing at KZN as a province, they also failed to address these issues. It's an old issue. The second response, they are saying that there are not enough areas. So it means those 40 square meters is not enough. So each and every house can't be built because there's not enough space. I'm saying to them, if Lawrence Pato is prepared to sit down with the community members, with also all stakeholders who have interest in this project of Brooks Farm, there is alternates that can be reached. As I'm speaking to you, Chair, I was suggesting to the mayor through Shireen, our secretary, to say, instead of this petition to come here, let us engage, because I'm in KZN as well. Let me also be involved. And the office of the mayor wrote to Pato, the Lawrence Pato was making a presentation here. When he responded, he didn't take me on those emails. And I'm asking myself what I have done now, because I'm interested to come with a solution, because I can see this matter is not going to be finalized here. But nevertheless, let us come and get solution, because it will be easy as local leaders, as I'm here in KZN as we speak, Chair, to go and sit down and involve community members. Is not progressive if community members are saying we have been knocking to the municipality for 5 years. As a result, they have to come here to talk about the same matter that could be resolved at a local level. So I'm saying, Chair, if they are saying the issue is because those people, they don't want to demolish their houses because it's the rectification houses, there are other alternatives, Mayor. I'm sure you can agree with me. Because those people use their monies to extend their houses, because the one that was provided from the beginning, it was not just not a house, it was an embarrassment because of the challenges of the project that embarked on. So after 5 years to 10 years, the municipality is coming to rectify that. Obviously, other people will go and get loans in order to bring structure on their head. Now the municipality is punishing those people who are able to go and get money somewhere and extend their houses. The third point that I want to raise here, Chair, the municipality is not even consistent if they're saying that those houses is because the lack of land. Because some of the structures are big structures. They've extended by the family members, but again, there is an enough yard whereby the new structure is erected. So the community is divided on this issue. There are those who have benefited twice. There are those that are told that, no, in order for us to erect a new structure, you must demolish your house. I think that is very insensitive, Chair. A caring government would have said that Member Ngobo family, you have extended your house. That is good enough. That's what we encourage as well. But the structure is old because the project is more than 20 years. So let us give you a voucher and go and get a window and replace your door and replace your ceiling and so on and so on. Instead of a CLO who does not even reason with community and said you must demolish here. If you don't want to demolish here, you're not going to get a house. That is the approach. So I've been begging, saying let us engage on this issue of Brooks Farm to find an alternate. Unfortunately, the matter has to come here, Chairperson. So let me stop there. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mkalipi. Colleagues, can I see the show of hands of colleagues who want to interact with this petition, the responses given by the city?
Hi.
Baba.
Who
are the other colleagues?
Baba. Baba.
Yeah. Who's having a baby nearby? It's Superman Kaba.
Hi.
Who else?
Chair, you said I'll be the last one to
I'm
engage.
still waiting for the others. You're already on my list.
Thank you, Chair, no problem.
So is Opperman, Kava, Kleza, that's it. And then Hadeb. In that order, Honorable Opperman.
Thank you, Chairperson. Can I please put off my camera?
Yes, you are more than welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you, Chair. In March this year, President Cyril Ramaphosa gave us the assurance that there will be no misappropriation of emergency COVID-19 funds. And in June, after less than 2 months, the President condemned the looting of these funds. For the past 3 months, Chairperson, this committee watched with helpless horror the growing increase of COVID-preneurs looting funds intended for the poorest of the poor. Thankfully, last week, there was a vow from the President that all COVID-19 funds spent fraudulently will be recovered. The President said 36 investigations are already underway, and he had signed a proclamation to empower the Special Investigating Unit to clamp down on all COVID-19 funds corruption. Now, this proclamation authorized the SIU to probe into and investigate any allegation of unlawful or improper conduct in the procurement of any goods, works or services during or related to the national state of disaster. So I know other members would want to engage extensively in all the other matters, but I propose, Chairperson, regarding all cases of misappropriation of COVID-19 funding, that you, Chairperson, for full accountability, write a letter referring these cases to be investigated by the SIU. If a criminal offence has been committed, the SIU can then refer them to the prosecuting authority. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Honorable Oberman. The next speaker is Honorable Pritikaba.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, if you may allow me to be switch off my screen where I am load shedding only.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you. Chairperson, actually, let me welcome all the presentation that was presented before us. But Chair, I was told myself that I don't want even to interact now. I will listen to other people and other leaders. But Chair, The problem that I have in this presentation is what the Honorable Mkalipi is saying. There was a people who came, I don't know, in this municipality. I don't know who those people, and go to other person's house and said must demolish her house or his house. Aye, man, chair. No, we cannot allow that to happen to our people in this democracy of ours. No, those people who demolish the house of other person, they must go back and build it with a Miteki felt. I want to ask to the eThekwini, who's those people who demolish the house of someone, who forced someone to demolish house? They must go and rectify that. That one is the embarrassment to our glorious movement, which is the ANC-led government. We don't want those things to happen to our people. We must make sure that there is this thing that I like this councillor, please. We must make sure that we can even go and ask a donation from somebody else to make sure that sifihla lehlazo phela lelenzeka noma ngazi ulenza ubani but lihlazo lona if lenzeka under our government, our leadership. Chair, I cannot say it was better because of it was this or it was that or it was who or was whom. No, that thing, it was totally wrong. No matter who did, it was wrong. Where does the dignity, the humanity of that person, was it now? Where was it now? The dignity, the Constitution. Our Constitution says everybody has a right to shelter. Everybody has a right to dignity. What is the dignity of that person? I don't care who says what, but the dignity. Dignity. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mamkizan. Honorable Megito.
Thank you, Chairperson. Let me start by saying to thank the Executive Mayor and his team for coming to do their responses on the questions of the petitions that...
Can you take your grandchild away from the meeting?
Hey, Samaya.
You will be the next one. Can I proceed to the next person while you are dealing with this? Honorable Kaiser, the turn is yours now.
Thank you very much, Chair, for the opportunity, and thanks
Yeah, I wanted Honorable Flow to mute your mic. It's okay. Proceed, Honorable Kaiser.
Thank you very much, Chair, for the opportunity to speak. And thank you very much to the community of Ward 52 for presenting us with the challenges. Chairperson, the housing challenges are prevalent across the country as we speak. We are in a state of disaster, Chairperson, national disaster, and the regulations call for de-densification of the informal settlements. Given the fact that the informal settlement, the Ward 52 is predominantly informal in its nature, what de-densification interventions did the mayor undertake? Because I want to know if that de-densification occurred in that space, in that ward, And then how so? How was the process of selecting those houses? How were they selected? What criteria was used to select those ones that should be moved, if there were any that were moved? Because, Chair, de-densification actually has shown us that it's not about this densification. Many other cities do legalized forced evictions as de-densification. Secondly, Chair, I would like to know, Ukuthi Kanti, Chairperson, if the issue of Mr. Cele, who was built a house following a media finding, when was the city going to build that person? Because it looks like posturing now. It's not. It looks disingenuous, because even though you did something, we appreciate that. But how do you do something after having gotten it? Don't you have data of people that are homeless in your city? And if you do have a data of homeless people in your city, what is the program to house those people during this time, this critical time of COVID-19? That's what I would like to know with regards to that. And with regards to food parcels, Chair, we know very well that our communities are so scared of ANC councillors. I don't know why they are so scared. I think it's the way they are socialized. And I'm saying most of the councillors, 90% of the councillors across the country, they are very, very arrogant in the manner in which they treat our people. And partly because our people are indoctrinated with the idea that there's nothing else until Jesus Christ comes. There's nothing like that. Secondly, on this issue, is there evidence in terms of food parcels now? You are saying that, and before I ask the question, we know that councillors, they cannot rise above politics themselves. They don't have capacity to do so. You can see that the Honorable Mkalipi is saying that the CLO is emotional. He is not taken through like the mayor is taking us through in terms of a communication, in terms of presentation that he has given us. No, he is being emotional, and this is prevalent this day across all communities. People are intimidated, they are insulted by councillors. We have cases, we have evidence, even in Bushabelo, where you find councillors stopping trucks in their houses and offloading those foods that are supposed to be meant for everyone. So with regards to food parcels, I want to ask how, in the same way that you would have a data for the number of people that you will have for the OSM team members, how many received food from other political formations? How many? Because you said that rightfully, you say, Mayor, that people have a right. They've elected councillors. We are not against that, because people elect according to the manner in which they have received the message, and we respect that it's a democratic process. But to say that other formations then were covered in the distribution of that food, you should be having a number of how many of those people were covered, so that we ascertain the process as we satisfy ourselves in terms of the equal distribution of food and to people in need. And section 195, Chair, again stipulates how we should how service must be provided impartially, fairly, equitably, and without bias. And how would you stop the bias that the community has picked up? Because surely the community cannot just complain and lodge a complaint and timelessly go to your housing department without having response at random. Surely there are issues that they have picked up, so we can't play them down as though they are insignificant. So that's about that, Chair, in terms of food parcels. But you say that the contractor left having installed 20 houses, but I will not I will open it up for Honorable Khatebe, that one, and in terms of the other issues, Chair, I would leave them to other members. But I would like to know as well about your spatial development in terms of in terms of the development of those informal settlements, because it's not clear to me as to how you are developing the informal settlements with infrastructure in place, necessary infrastructure in place. You just spoke about I put a house, what infrastructure on what infrastructure and so forth, you know. I know that there are roads in place and so forth, and I haven't heard about your schools and your recreation centers, your parks, and so forth. I haven't heard about that. I do not think that we must be obsessed about building houses without infrastructure, because that's again disingenuous. They are just saying let there be houses, and without necessarily putting measures in place to make sure that there is sustainable community infrastructure in terms of clinics and all those things within that area. So thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kaiser. Honorable Chou. Honorable Chou.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. Hey, sorry for this little one. She's traveling. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Chairperson. Let me firstly. Hello. Yes.
Is your grandchild far away from you?
Yes, he's far away. They've taken her to the room.
Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Law, we can hear the child at the background. We are in a meeting. Can you make sure that the child is away from you? Should I skip you and get another person until you are sure the child is far away from you?
Okay,
are you ready now?
Yes, I'm ready, Chairperson.
Yes, Honorable Law. Don't bring children to the meeting, please. Proceed. Proceed, Honorable Law. You are muted. Honorable Law, can you unmute?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes,
Proceed.
I am. Yes. Okay, let me firstly thank the Executive Mayor and his team very much for responding to the petition raised, which raised many challenges that are faced by the eThekwini municipalities. And I can say most of the questions that were raised by or written on the petitions, he responded very well with understanding, and I think really most of the questions that those people they were faced, he responded, and the explanation was well detailed and clear explanation. But the issue here was on the electricity contractor that hoping that he will do the rest of the houses that were supposed to be electrified. Unfortunately, he suddenly just left those people without them not knowing what is it that is going to happen, who is going to finish those electricity. And another issue of the GNS road construction company, that they were underpaying their members. What is it that as the executive mayor to do in making sure that you correct all the mistakes that were done by the GNS road construction, or even the city manager? What did they do? I know the issue of the councillor who undermines the people. I know that one, it will be attended by the speaker of the council. Then the issue of with regard to the food parcels, I know you have done very well because of you mentioned clearly that you are having 110 wards in eThekwini, and then the distribution and the people that they were helping you for the distribution of the food hampers and the vouchers, and then we're doing very well. I think that issue of saying this one belongs to that organization and so forth is sometimes when the people just want to raise issues that is not unnecessary. But I think their explanation to us also, it was very clear and perfect. And then the issue of the planned road related to project on the stormwater related works that require attention. That one, I just want to understand that do you have a well-trained people that qualify to do the work of the stormwater now? And then also there was also the issue of that some houses at Brooks Farm housing project, that some beneficiaries refused to get a 40 square meter unit.
Honorable Joe.
Chairperson?
I'll let you stop here, then attend to your grandchild so that we can proceed with the meeting. But I must raise my concerns. This is a meeting. It's a meeting, Honorable Joe. You need to address this on a very serious note. Can you provide this meeting a decorum that it deserves? So you must stop talking here and go and attend to your grandchild. But honestly, I've raised this with you, but it seems as if it's continuing. It's very disruptive, I must tell you that. Can you mute your mic, Honorable Joe? Please mute your mic. Honorable Hadebe? Honorable Hadebe?
Yes, Honorable Chairperson.
Proceed.
May I proceed? Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson. Well, let me also take this opportunity and thank once again the Executive Mayor of eThekwini and your entire team for a detailed report in responding to the petition. And let me say this upfront, Chair, that Executive Mayor, we are going to be very critical on you because you represent our generation. we see us in you. As such, we expect nothing but the best from you. As the famous quote always say, that each generation out of relative obscurity must define its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. So you dare not fail our mission, Executive Mayor. The issue that I have is that you have given us a very detailed presentation. I wonder if the community of Ward 52, do they also have opportunity to be given such a presentation? If not, why? When was the last community meeting prior COVID-19 to appraise the community of Ward 52 of this latest development? Because I believe information is power, and once you deprive a community of information, nature allows no vacuum. Hence, you'll have situation where even you are doing a great work, that work won't be seen and won't be appreciated. In terms of the legislation that govern local government, ward councillors are expected at least once per quarter to convene feedback meeting to appraise their community of latest development in their municipality. So my question is premised based on that minimum requirement from the legislation. And as per your deployment, you are expected to convene monthly meetings over and above what is enshrined in the legislation. Now, during this COVID-19, I would also like to get a sense and understanding what mechanism and measures in place do you have, seeing that we are restricted in terms of holding public meetings, of ensuring that the community are appraised of these latest developments, so that we don't have situations where matters are escalated to our level. And my understanding, the next question is in relation to the project steering committees. I've served in several project steering committees. I understand the terms of reference that we're supposed to act as a bridge between the municipality and the community, meaning adequate and detailed information ought to be given to project steering committee members at all times. They ought to have regular meetings to iron out issues of discomfort, issues of dissent. Are your project steering committee doing what they are supposed to do? Are you having enough resources to capacitate and empower project steering committee members so that they are your eyes and ears? I understand what councillors and all public reps, unfortunately, we cannot be everywhere. Hence, there are these other structures that needs to complement your ward forum project steering committee. So, but if you do not empower these structures, then their existence become meaningless. Hence, I'm asking, what is your municipality doing to empower these structures so that they become the eyes and ears of your community? And lastly, we fully appreciate what you did to Mr. Kele in building him a house, dignity, roof over his house, even though it didn't have to go to an extent that it went for it to be exposed to national TV before you act. Nonetheless, you acted, and that indicates a sign of a caring municipality. With that, we appreciate you. We must always have a courage to give credit where credit is due. If we have a capacity to criticize, we must equally have a capacity to acknowledge good when good is done. But it is not in our nature to applaud the fish for swimming and praise birds for flying. So we are saying we are going to criticize you, but when you do good, we are going to appreciate you. But that must not make you complacent. Like I said in closing, Chair, you represent our generation. You dare not fail us. We are going to be harsh in ensuring that you achieve what this generation ought to achieve. Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson.
There you go again, Honorable Hadebe. I'm told I must tell you to stop it, but nevertheless, I should think you are very right to then express credit when it's due. I should believe Mam Chize should be the happiest person after hearing this news of Mr. Tiago, because it's one thing that has been a thorn to our hearts. We say kudos, Executive Mayor, for responding, because this is what we expect from our councillors, that whenever people have got concern, people are destitute, as the local council, you need to come to the rescue of people. I wish you could do the same in all matters that affect our people. Then eThekwini will be a better place to live in. There's been a lot of issues raised. I'll hand over to you, Executive Mayor, then you allocate who does what in terms of responding to the issues that has been raised. Over to you, Executive Mayor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. We'll request that the officials will come before me because they won't speak after the mayor. So the mayor must sum up. So human settlement, you can come first to respond to the issues directed to you. Issues of food parcels will be left with me, and other policy matters, I will deal with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and the Portfolio Committee Chairperson. I think one of the questions Umdo asked it's about the delay project, that it has taken time for Pet Mashaba, and of course, which and translate to Ichube Plus. We Chairperson, this is the nature of delays of, if you were to look at when you are developing projects that are in situ upgrade, like not for one that we're justifying here why the delays has happened, but what is good is the people on the ground have got information. But if you start to listen to what Umtu is talking about, he knows where the project started up until where it is now. That start to send a message they are informed. Like even today, that there's VAM who is employed for one reason or the other. And Babuslalo, so Mamuslalo ne portfolio, this is not new sector of human settlements where you find some contractor coming in, or even get AMA service providers coming in, and due to various reasons, it becomes non-profit making a business, and some of them, they fail in the way. We're coming from an era where we had a Section 21 company, which is part of what we talked about with Brooks Farm, and we don't have them anymore. Even the professionals, when the government was saying take those people are responsible for the previous work that they've done. Now here, that's why at least we've got somebody who's on board, and we've given detailed timelines of where things are, and is correct in saying, mentioning the names of the project managers that are on board. They are there. Ours, Chairperson, and the portfolio committee, is to ensure that the timelines that we've provided, including the school, if you look at the presentation, the school, the reason why we projected even the letter is to say we have made a breakthrough, that now we've got a letter from the school. So those are the kind of challenges that is alluding to, which we accept that they were there, but again, now we've got clearer timelines in terms of what is going to happen when. Because now we're coming from an era of lockdown. Immediately before the lockdown, we're coming from the Christmas break, which takes you half of December and half of January, and then we had February and March. But there is monthly sitting steering committees that are sitting to give updates on project, whether they're on planning, implementation, or close out, to inform people where they are. We, of course, are open to the policy of talking and giving information, sharing it as much as we could. That's why in our project we've got a project facilitators. Facilitator mere job is to make sure that they communicate with the community, as well as ama PLO or CLO of the community, that there's somebody who's representative of the councillor. They're structured, recognized in terms of Municipals Act of people, how we do our communication, and it's part of our job to do it. I took the details of 1810 chairperson. Of course, the fact of the communications that were done in terms of mama akabhidlize aphinde ayeke angabusabhidlizi ngeke asakhelwa. I'll take that back just to follow that matter closely in terms of the situation as it is said and explained in the meeting. And I've also noted Honorable Mkalipi in terms of the maybe the inconsistency where he's saying there's consistency. Yes, we are open and listen, and because if we don't listen and be open in taking issues that are raised, then we won't succeed. But let us deal with the matter of 1810 and go by issue ukuthi umuntu omdala uhlezi emnyango, and then we take it from there, no matter what has happened. I think Honorable Kaba was talking about the same thing. Let us deal with the matter, which I'm giving commitment that we'll follow it up and deal with. Then Honorable Klo, in terms of the electricity and the houses, Chairperson, I've just said the era in which unfortunately March came in and we stopped, and it's no secret that in this, whether again the sector or in the construction industry, not all contractors start and perform fully functional. It picks up a momentum. You start to establish on site, then you pick up a momentum, and it's so happened in this one that as they pick up the momentum, having serviced the 20 or connected the 20 houses, there was a lockdown which happened, and I am, like the DCM have said, and I was assured as well, that even the ward councillor who's part of us there's been communication and discussion in terms of the logistics and bringing the contractor back on site, since we've resumed construction now at level 3. And by Monday, he will be back on site to complete those. And I've already said in the presentation, it will take us 2 months at least to complete those. I'm saying 2 months maximum just to complete, because you re-established after de-establishing on site, and we've got logistics to manage and watch, and then as we move forward. So that is that, talking to that one. I think the Councillor, okay, no, I think yes, then I think that's all that talks to that in terms of the human settlement, not unless if I have missed anything else, DCM will be able to pick it up in terms of human settlement. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will come in on some of the issues. Covered many issues. I think just 3 issues. Honorable Ceza has inquired around the special development and what is the rationale when we develop. I think trying to establish if we do consider some of the recreational and social infrastructure. Yes, we do have an area-based focus approach when we do our development. I think the Honorable Committee is very much aware of Inc. Of late years. Phoenix has been added. It's an area-based focus area where we ensure that there's a balance of development. We don't only focus on developing houses, but we look at other critical developments, such as multi-purpose centers, such as public corridor. We're currently developing C3, which is a public transport corridor. It cuts through Phoenix, and it's really benefiting the community at large. When we develop informal settlement upgrading, we're very much aware of our fiscal constraints, so we do not wait for national government to give us the ultimate grant. but we do utilize what we get via e-urban settlement grant and our council funding to implement interim services or incremental services. We understand that the Constitution does talk to ensuring that people have basic services. So we ensure that people have basic water, sanitation, passages, and infrastructure. So basically, spatial development is influenced by East Pluma as a regulation, and the city take cognizance of all the necessary things that we need to incorporate when we do our developments. With regard to non-municipal infrastructure, that is not the municipal mandate. We do engage in consultation when we deal with planning via East Pluma, such as schools, etc. So we work very closely with provincial governments to ensure that there's a balance of social infrastructure for the communities that we're developing. We don't always get it right. Sometimes the times are not all aligned, but we put an effort to make sure that there is equal delivery of social infrastructure. With regard to issue here, DNS, if I can go back to that question, I've inquired with my team, and they have confirmed that yes, GNS is a company that's doing a road. They are appointed via a PQ, which is a small quotation, which is under 200,000. There is no confirmation of exploitation from what my team has confirmed to me. They are appointed, they've been paid 80% by the city. From the confirmation that we receive from them is that they have paid their appropriate labors. But we will embark on further investigation on this matter so that we don't just answer in this regard. I think there was a question from Honorable Klo, which spoke to the stormwater related, and do we have qualified people to deal with this? Yes, we have a fully fledged unit consisting of about 4,000 total incumbents within the engineering. Aspect of it is stormwater maintenance and coastal and rivers development. So we have qualified engineers that actually deals with this aspect, and we ensure that what we do is informed by the appropriate technical policies. So we've got qualified people that actually respond to such. So we are well resourced when it comes to the engineering team. The issues around the stormwater maintenance, we manage them via the proactive methods to ensure that there is adequate maintenance. But yes, we are a coastal city that is affected by heavy rains. We've got very challenging terrains and very challenging catchment. So again, we are affected by storm damages quite a lot and heavily as the city with steep terrains. But we do have appropriate resources, and we also augment resources outside to ensure that we have adequate capacity. Yes, there are things that we miss and that goes over us, but we, with the assistance of communities and councillors on the ground, which are very close to the ground, we make sure that we try and respond accordingly. I think Pato has covered the issues around the steering committees and how we consult with communities. I want to stop there through you, Honorable Chair, and give back to my Honorable Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. Let's welcome all the inputs made from the community and all honorable members. Of course, we'll take all of them into cognizance when we implement our programs. Chair, the first issue which I just want to respond to is that the tenets of the democracy, when you talk about accountability and transparency, those are the tenets that are very critical for our work and to ensure when we execute our responsibilities, they are not compromised at all. So therefore, when the question arises in relation to the public engagements, I'll start with the question of social relief on food parcels. I think we were the only municipality which was well covered on the introduction and the launch of the program of food distribution before it was distributed. So we had community radio stations, Ukhozi FM, Igagasi FM, SAFM questioning us about it when we launched it, SABC, ENCA, and as well as Newsroom Africa. So we were well covered. Why we did that? Because we wanted to ascertain that transparency is practiced. So therefore, no one who lives in eThekwini municipality should not understand how the criteria of the food distribution is being constituted. So that we did deliberately so that no one can confuse our program with other programs which are run by NGOs, which are run by other private companies. But we took it to ourselves as a municipality that let's go public. We said as the executive, we must go public, explain the criteria that all those people, child-headed families, those houses which are led by grannies, who sometimes receive some grants, but those grants, because of the population in the family, in the household, they do not make a big dent to address the issue of poverty. We have said people who have lost income because COVID-19, many people were put aside in relation to their responsibilities at work because they had to be locked in their houses. So some of them, they were locked in their houses without any source of income. So the criteria was very clear. In the criteria, Chair, unfortunately, we did not put a question there which asks you which political party do you belong to. When you distribute government food, you don't need to ask people. So we can't produce the list that the honorable member is requesting us to produce. How many from the IFP who received these food parcels? How many from the DA? How many from the EFF and the ANC? We can't produce that evidence. All what we did, the criteria was well thought that we need to respond and to be responsive to the aspirations of those people without income. So that on its own constituted the criteria that we applied. And we don't have any hesitations that that criteria was indeed applied. But the challenge which I highlighted in May when I visited the portfolio committee when we were called here was that, Honorable Chairperson, in a ward with a population of 15,000 people, then the municipality, because we could only afford to distribute only 1,000 food hampers or food vouchers per ward. So therefore, it's given that the majority of people will be left out in this process. Hence, we emphasize to councillors through the Speaker issuing a circular. The circular stated clearly that please look for those who are poor, because we understand there are those who are poorer than the others. So therefore, it necessitates that the criteria should identify what kind of targets that we are targeting in relation to distribution. So I think there we were very clear. So unfortunately, we can't provide that list, which will say from this political party, there were 20, from this one, so we distributed to poor household. So that's what we did. And the door of the Speaker is still open. The Speaker is receiving some cases. For example, we requested councillors and our teams from OSS and the community participation to ensure that no one received this voucher or a food hamper without signing. But in putting your signature there, we want your name, we want your address, we want your ID number. So we have already started a process of making some random calls to some of the list. And in one or two of them, you'll find that you call a person, then the person tells you that no, Mina, I don't have anything to do with that. So that means the investigation should then be directed to such. So anyone with evidence that food parcels were manipulated, they were not adhered to the criteria that we developed. So that evidence must come to the Speaker. And we agree that the President has really proclaimed investigations in this regard. So that can take part of those investigations so that these issues are investigated. And we did pronounce, we are on record saying anyone found manipulating this process will have to be charged. So we were on record in saying that. So we still need evidence from people. So with that, Chair, I think we ascertained that there was nothing wrong of using ward councillors. They are elected democratically as leaders in their ward, respective wards. So we still believe that there was nothing unbecoming about it. If there was a problem, would have been taken to constitutional courts, to other courts. by other parties that they normally take us to courts. So in this regard, there is no court case that we have. Then, Chair, coming to the issue of I think that Honorable Hatebe, you have covered it very well. You know, I came here to this portfolio committee, Chair, and the issue was raised. And I was honest in my response. I said, I haven't heard about this case. So therefore, as a leader responsible, after I've been made aware that there is a particular case, then we took an initiative. So therefore, we can't be blamed. Now, why did we build that house now? Why we did not build it before? I did not know that Mr. Cele lives in a bush. So the eThekwini Municipality Chairperson have developed a comprehensive intervention when it comes to homeless people. I think it has also been covered by media widely. All the media houses came, interviewed us, and people commended us in terms of how we have constituted this intervention. This intervention is where we have opened about 12 special shelters. People are fed, are given 3 meals a day in those shelters. And part of those, the progress we have made in that program is on drug rehabilitation. There are people that have joined that program. Today they are rehabilitated. There are people who have now been integrated back to their families because of the very same program. There is a student who also received an employment I reported in the previous portfolio committee because we intervened. He was part of the homeless, but today he's working. Today he's got a place to stay. So therefore, our comprehensive intervention were aimed at becoming more responsive to what homeless people are experiencing on a daily basis. And indeed, we are convinced and determined that that program is making a huge impact to those, to the lives of those people who are housed there. And it has reduced a number of incidents within the city. So it has therefore worked better and yielded positive results in terms of our fight against crime. Chair, now coming to the issue of how often do we interact with people? We, as this executive committee in eThekwini Municipality, we decided when we arrived in September that on monthly basis, without fail, we must visit. In eThekwini, we have 17 zones. We must visit at least 2 zones per month. So which therefore equates to a number of wards, about 24 wards that get visited a month. Unfortunately, COVID-19 has disrupted that program. In that program, it's where you take government to the people. As the mayor, I'm not the executive mayor, Chair. I must not elevate myself to the executive mayors. eThekwini is the only metro without an executive mayor. So we have a multi-party political system there. So you still have all political parties in the executive. It's unlike in other metros. But we are certain that issue is being attended to by the amendment to the Act. So that will change as well and like the other metros. So, Chair, the issue that the decision we took was that we mustn't expect people to come to City Hall and look for government. But it is government that must go to the people. So hence, each and every month we committed ourselves that we visit at least 24 wards in the municipality. I don't think that there's a municipality that has got an executive that visits those wards per month. So therefore, the visitations we conduct, they are not the talk shows. When we get there, there is no city manager, there's no CFO, there's no DCM, there are no heads of the departments who remains in their comfort zones in their offices. We have said, because people have been complaining and you've not been responding to those complaints because you sit in your comforts, there are air conditioner there, we buy you good furniture in those offices. So therefore, it's important for you to be on the ground so that when people, they talk about sewer spillages, you don't hear about it or you don't read about it from the email, but you see what is actually happening on the ground. So therefore, that program, Chair, has turned things around. And we as the municipality, we have even, I can give an example, in one area, we visited it, we found that we have built beautiful houses there, but people had no sanitation service. So we had to intervene on the spot because we are there as leaders, and we had to intervene and say, this must be reinstated and people can't live without the sanitation in their houses. So I'm saying there are a number of areas where we have intervened and we have turned the tide around, and people are really appreciating the manner in which their government is interacting with them. Then that is beside the meetings which are in the Structures Act, at least 4 meetings per year. So that is out of that. So our councillors, they do convene. I know Councillor Zulu. I've worked with him. Honorable Mkalipi, when we were councillors, both of us, we know Mr. Zulu, and we know how active he is. And I'm sure he hasn't changed. He is still there working with the communities, convening public meetings. I think he's one of the councillors who convene public meetings. When was the last time we were there in this ward? It was in April, through the program of Operation Sugumasake. We were there. We visited VDs. All our executive committee members, they get deployed in various wards. We visit VDs. We go and look at the challenges. Some of the challenges we have responded to here, they were raised during our visitations in April this year. Hence, we already developed clear programs to intervene so that we address such challenges. So I'm raising this, Chair, because Operation Sugumasake in eThekwini really works better for us. Unfortunately, COVID-19 had to limit us in terms of interacting with the members of the public, but we are still looking at the better ways and innovations so that we can even survive with the lockdown regulations that are with us. So at that program, we think we can change the tide around, and people will see difference, because it's when we interact with members of the public, and it's when we get in touch with issues without reading about them, without receiving calls about them, but we are on the ground as the executive of the municipality. So I think in that respect, in terms of community participation, ensuring that we work with the committees, we are doing exactly that. Chair, the last one I think is the issue that do our steering committees get training? Yes, they do. When we appoint them, we don't just give people the responsibilities. We train them what is expected. But the behavioral patterns cannot be determined by the training only, but it's also determined by the behavior of an individual. So hence, it is important when communities identify individuals whom they think they are not running the public issues in a manner that is envisaged, those issues should be forwarded to us so that we can act and act swiftly. I think, Chair, we've covered all the issues that have been raised, but we also wish to thank you for availing this opportunity, especially my chairperson, when I appeal to you that we request the postponement, because really we're still working. When we received this petition, we had a number of meetings interacting with different people, including now the change. I think, Mr. Pato, you lost what the councillor said, the Honorable Mkalipi said. She said, Ugogo now has been attended to, because the report after the meetings I convened with the units, I said, go back to those communities, engage them, because we are the government that cares. We are the government that engages people. Go there, don't say that they've refused. Go there, persuade them, work with them, find the best solution. I think now with all the outstanding work in regard to those houses, we have been able to find the consensus with the members of the public, and we are going to deliver. As usual, Chair, this ANC-led municipality delivers to the people. Thank you.
So I must refrain from calling you executive mayor. You are Mayor Kaunda.
I can understand.
Amandla Mayor.
Mayor Kaunda.
Yeah, what's that?
And the mayor and his executive committee. Okay.
Yes.
Sure. But you should have called us to order long ago.
No, we're not the gate. for our own political dynamics, it worked better for us that time. I think now we are fine. We can go to executive mayor.
Okay. There's Honorable Mkalipi and Honorable Kleza who wanted to make follow-ups. Can I hand over to you? And Kaba too. And who else? Is it the three of them? Who else want to make follow-up?
And so, Chairperson.
And Chloe. The baby is gone now, Honorable Chloe. Okay. So it will be Mkalipi, Kleza, Kaba, and Chloe in that order.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Thanks very much to the mayor. Indeed, we grew up together, but it does not mean that the mayor is doing what we are expecting him to do. For instance, last time here in this committee, where is the mayor? I want to see him on the video.
You?
Yes.
Executive mayor.
It's not
You want to see my beautiful face? Thank you.
How?
Yeah, mayor. Last time, when we have an engagement with you here in the committee, I said to you, I'm raising these issues with the hope that we are not going to raise them again. Me and you, we are from the same area, we are from the same generation, we are from the same municipality. Let us talk. Kwabeke sengixoshile, awusabambi ngisho ucingo lami. Angazi noma usenayo inamba yami. So ngifuna ukuku-expose here, Mayor, ukuthi you were doing very well when you took over, but after that, ayeke sushaya utshani. Because, Chairperson, my point is, we could have resolved these issues because, as I said before, these issues need time and space to deal with them. For instance, the issue of Bombay is beautiful on papers, but when you go to the ground, Mayor, is not how you put it here on papers. The reality of the situation is that there is no proper consultation in terms of the project that is taking place in Bombay. So therefore, it needs your good office. And because we are trying, but you must try harder for the community not to embark on itoi instead of yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can very Mpakati take off the screen that she's sharing? It's disrupting the recording and the proceeding of these proceedings. Very Mpakati, can you stop sharing your screen, please? I'm sorry to disrupt you, Honorable Mkalipi. You can proceed.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. So I'm saying, Mayor, after this meeting, let us have a progressive meeting outside COGTA meeting. The second point, Mayor, that I want to make is that the issue of Brooks Farm, we have not addressed it.
Mkalipi, you are creating problems now. This thing of you wanting to have a tea with all the mayors, it was first the executive mayor of the city of Cape Town, now the mayor of eThekwini, and there's one honorable member who's not pleased about what you're doing, and you know the honorable member. Please proceed.
But this mayor, me and him, we come a long way. So that's why I'm exposing him here, that he does not take my calls anymore. And he must stop that, because we could have resolved these things that you are resolving here. Mayor, we are saying that the issue of food parcels was not politicized. Let me just give you one assignment. A person who is busy in Ward 52, who is working in the office of the councillor by the name of Sandile Chali, his neighbor is in need of a food parcel. Must go and tell him to go and look for umuzi wakamthembu, whereby umama wakamthembu balala bengadlile every day. I even engaged with disaster management of eThekwini, and they said they don't have anything to provide the family. The situation is very bad. That is the assignment that I'll make a follow-up on myself. they are in need of food parcels. They are not EFF members, they are not ANC members, they are not DA members, they are a poor family member. The issue of drainage that Beryl was talking about, she was painting a picture for all of eThekwini. But today, Chairperson will agree with me, even when we debated the adjusted budget. I said to that speech, the Ward 43, a community of Ward 43, Nduzuma, Okwamashu, there was a drainage problem. As a result, those people, they called the municipality, they didn't attend. As a result, those people, they have to go and get a local plumber to sort it out. There is a problem now, not during our time. The municipality were very responsive that time, but now the community had to go and get a local person to sort it out because they could not stay with those kind of pipe that were burst. So the report that Beryl is painting here is not the true reflection of what's happening on the ground. On the same vein, the drainage system in Brooks Farm, every week, the municipality has to come and check because that stormwater is also leaking and making unhealthy hazard in the community. So the report that Lawrence Pato is also giving here about Brooks Farm Housing Project is saying 55 houses were not built in terms of the rectification housing project. And because those people, they don't have enough yards or space or land. So I'm raising this thing, Chair, because I want to hear clearly how are they to address that. The people must not be punished because they don't have enough spaces. You must use alternate in order to address the issues that our people are still faced with. For instance, I'm saying that those 55 people are not contacted in terms of addressing the issue of not benefiting on the rectifying houses. I'm saying to you, I'm giving you one example that you could have looked at it, Lawrence, saying that this project was budgeted for, therefore you are not going to benefit, but the structure is too old. Go and get a window. I'm going to give you a voucher. Go and get the door. Go and get a ceiling. Or as the municipality, we are going to explore some other opportunities such as going higher, because this is not a personal problem of each individual that there is no land. At some houses, like for instance in 1629, there is enough space, there is enough land, but the municipality is saying that, no, we can't extend this enough space because the 40 square meters is not fit within your yard. But I'm saying that other houses have given so many spaces. So the inconsistency is that we need to address it with community, because this issue has divided that community. Mayor, I don't hear you on addressing the issue that I'm not raising for the first time of the CLO who does not respect community. I'm telling you that man by the name of Gaz Mhlabunzima, even the councillor here, who is my friend, knows about the attitude of the CLO. And I have asked before, but what processes did you follow? As we are claiming here that he was interviewed, and after those interviews, he was the best man for the job. Because that man does not respect community, and the community does not know where to go, because that man is powerful. It can't be to have a CLO who does not respect a community. At least if those people are complaining about the attitude of the CLO, the councillor must come and address that attitude, because the councillor must always be on the side of the community. If there's a problem about the councillor, the mayor must come in and address the issues that are raised against the councillor. So I'm saying, Chairperson, there's no door policy with housing section of municipality. I'm saying here, I'm the witness. There was an email that I suggested, and also make sure that I assist Lawrence Pato to say, let us have a meeting in order to resolve this issue of Brooks Farm. When he responded to that email, he took me out. So I'm asking myself, what kind of an official that does not even respect a person who is representing public, how much more the community who are complaining about the open door policy of the municipality that does not exist. So I'm saying, in order to have a way forward here, let us be clear what will be the way forward to address those issues of Bombay, of Brooks Farm, and so forth. We must not come and pretend as if the mayor has spoken, that's it. The problems are not clearly articulated how they are going to be addressed specifically. Thank you, Chair.
Colleagues, the ones that are still going to talk, can I plead with you? You must mind the time. We are left with 14 minutes. That will also allow the mayor to respond to your issues. And please don't repeat yourself. Mkalipi, I've allowed you to do that because you are the author of this petition. But can I plead with the colleagues? Otherwise, then we'll adjourn without the mayor responding to your questions. Honorable Kaiser.
Thank you very much, Chair. I just wanted to expatiate a bit on the behavioral patterns in terms of what Honorable H O Mkalipi has raised in here, because this affects the communities gravely, Chair. And if we don't address it here in the portfolio committee, we will leave a lot of abusive behaviors for our community members. And you know, Chairperson, there was a long time ago we were brought to Cuba in an exchange program. You know, when there is a training of individuals you are taken through, you know, so that you don't become dangerous for your own community, you know, such that even through a talent that you have in terms of what you want to do, you are interrogated and you have a gap year. I think I'm saying this for the second time in the community. You have a gap year in the community. You have a gap year that you have to check if this thing that you say are good at or you want to do, are you ready for it emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, politically, socially, and so forth, so that when they take you out, they don't take a criminal to the community, to an extent that they equip you about Marxism in your head, and then they equip you about the material conditions of our people, so that you become sensitive to our people in the first place. You become sensitive to yourself, to your own situation, and thus you become in the final sensitive to your own people, so that you don't become dangerous. You don't then vent out on emotions when it comes to delivering what you said you love to do. And I think that it's a matter of consideration for the city of eThekwini to actually put in mind. Secondly, Chair, I wish to propose a way forward in terms of how to deal with the situation of Bombay and Brook, to establish a task team, Chair, between the municipality, MPs and community members, to address these issues in Gestalt, so that there is a proper coordinated and as we can hear, there is no communication with the communities. Thus, a way forward that I'm proposing. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Gaba.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, let me thank the executive mayor about it, to listening our call as a members of parliament. The issue of Tulani Kele, it was raised here in this committee, and the executive mayor quickly go to that place, as he was saying he don't know nothing about that. And we tell him where the problem is. and he goes straight where we send him to. We used to say in this committee, it's not our duty or our job to plot or praise the fish for swimming, but when the person or a leader of the society like this executive mayor did a good job. It did a good job about Kolani Cele, the man that I was crying about. I'm saying thank you, executive mayor, because it's not the eThekwini municipality that only that we crying. We crying in all municipalities in South Africa, but they are not rushing where we are crying about. If I can tell you, Chairperson, you know the issue of Impindwin. It was the same with this Tulani Cele. But the Impindwin, they are not doing anything. Thank you, Executive Mayor. I salute you. I know you are the hard worker. Hey, I don't know what I can say.
Injalo, Mama, injalo.
Oh,
Executive Mayor, we have been crying to all over the country. No one was rushing like you. You are like a child sent by Mkhulu go and buy Umenchisilapa Espaza. And you run. How you run, man. I know you. Thank you. Bye-bye, Chair.
Mato. Honorable Joe.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson, and forgive me about that little child. Executive Mayor Kaunda, we again welcome and appreciate your effort and your team for working as collective, dedicated, committed, and your accountability to the community that you are representing. Ke re ka segagešo ke re tswela pele ka Operation Sukuma Reage. Ba re emelela reage ka Sepedi akere. But lastly, with regard to housing unit challenges, there were some beneficiaries that refused to get into 40 square meter unit. What other mechanism are you going to put in place in making sure that you add some more square meters for those families that are experiencing some problems? I thank you, Chairperson.
That was the list. Then the time, colleagues will recall when we were dealing with the evictions in the Western Cape. There was a video that was circulated in our WhatsApp group. I think there was an old man in blue, and then it was said it's happening in eThekwini as we speak. I don't want you to respond to it now, but I'm just trying to put it to you as you come back to give us an update in the next step on how you have responded to the progress in responding to COVID-19. This is the method that we want you to also put in your presentation. How are you dealing with people, those that are then illegally occupying land, and those, the eviction part? Because there's also a human rights factor there and being considerate. But then I'll send you that video for you to have a particular clue what am I talking about, because it was said it's happening in eThekwini as we speak. And then that's the method that I should think when we come the next time, we are going to ask you to deal with that. Then you raised the issue of councillors being elected people. I agree with you, but then I hope you are also ready to be able to deal with the comebacks that might come, those that are misbehaving. I should believe your council has a very good code of conduct and how to deal with misconducts. But the assurance that one wants to get from you, are there not any reported acts of misconduct that you have got thus far in relation to councillors doing, because there's nothing wrong with that with the acts. The problem is when now these vouchers that you are referring to don't reach their intended beneficiaries. And as you are doing that, what is the mechanisms and measures that you have put in to make sure that whatever is distributed in terms of the COVID-19, it's reaching their intended beneficiary? So I'll give you the remaining 4 minutes to cover everything. Over to you, Executive Mayor. I should believe this was now. You will respond to them directly. You won't delegate to anybody, so that we are coming to the conclusion of the meeting. Honorable Kleza, we have heard your presentation. As we conclude and deliberate our recommendation in regard to these petitions, these are the matters that we'll also deal with. Over to you, Mayor Kaunda.
No, thanks, Honorable Chair. Once again, we must welcome the input from members. We take all matters that are presented before us serious. I must indicate, Councillor, Honorable Mkalipi, I always refer to you as a councillor. We served with her as a councillor for more than 2 terms, so that's why I always call her a councillor.
The score that you seem to have some unfinished business, the two of you. That's why
No,
she's calling that you must talk. After post this,
no,
you
Chair.
need to talk.
No, rest assured, Chair, we were neighbors. She was in Ward 53, I was in Ward 57. So we used to share even things and challenges and work together. So she's a very close person of mine. I must indicate, Chair, that if you can browse through my Facebook page, you'll see how members of the public are utilizing that, raising issues beside the page of the municipality, my personal page. We respond immediately. When people, they put issues there, we respond in WhatsApp. That's what they normally do. They give us all the challenges, and we'll continue doing that. Yes, our pages on electricity, water, the WhatsApp pages, they are also being utilized. Chair, the issue raised on the consultation, the members of the public, I can give you a reassurance that as a city, we have an active human settlement and infrastructure standing committee. As I'm speaking to you this week, they conducted some visitations because they are not only meeting in City Hall. So we are certain that if there are outstanding issues, we'll refer them to them so that on monthly basis, we can update you on the progress we are making to address the issues raised with us. So we are certain that the turnaround times that have been presented here and the timelines, they are as a result of our engagements with our officials, saying that we can't delay the service delivery any further than this. So therefore, we need to have timelines which are realistic, but on the other side, ensuring that the Provincial Housing Department will also give us resources to execute those responsibilities. So we are certain that those are the things that are going to happen. Lastly, Chair, I think those were just comments. I've not been running away from my friend. It's just that as I'm engaged in this meeting, I was just checking my cell phone here. I've got 50 missed calls as I speak because I'm engaged in this meeting. So when I get out of this meeting, I'll be exhausted, Chair. I'm telling you, from 9 o'clock, I've been in meetings. The only thing I'm looking forward to do now is to go to the bathroom and take a bath and eat and sleep. So I think that happens sometimes. So I'm very sorry if honorable member think that I'm running away from her. I can't run away from her. She's a very close ally of mine, so I can't do that. So thank you very much, Chair. I think all the issues raised with us are going to receive necessary and immediate attention. And we must also indicate the issue of the show house. When we question about the show house, we're informed that that was not a show house. That was one of the emergency houses that are being constructed in the area to accommodate those people with emergency needs, whether some of them are affected by storms and some of them are living in shelters which may fall at any given moment. So I think that was the question, that was the answer in that. The issue of ensuring that everything that has been raised, the issue of the CLO, we asked the department because we do not want to interfere. As a mayor, I can't go to the project and fire the CLO. So we have asked the relevant department so that we don't interfere with their work to investigate further. People should bring forward what is it, because the issue pertaining to the negotiations with the residents about their spaces in their households. So it's another issue. But if there are further issues, then we are hopeful that those will be furnished to the relevant department, housing, so that we can further investigate. We asked them specifically, what are the wrongdoings of this CLO? They said no, they haven't received anything, they haven't observed anything wrong about the CLO. So I can't therefore, as a mayor, interfere and go and fire the CLO. So I think we need to respect those protocols moving forward. Thank you very much. This has been a very empowering session to us as a municipality, and we recommit ourselves that we'll follow up on issues that are outstanding. I know, Chair, you want to ask me one question. That question, I know it, and I must respond to it. I've checked with the Premier, I've checked with the MEC for Cooperative. They said the manner in which command council are composed, even nationally. So we must follow that pattern. So we can't have our own arrangement where we'll bring members who are supposed to play oversight over the executive in the meetings that you requested us to bring them to. So I think that I've received a counsel on that, and I think I'm adhering to that counsel. Thank you, Chair.
Matlo, mute your mic. That's not what I wanted to ask you, unfortunately. Mayor, the things that I want to ask you are the following as I'm closing this meeting. You are an intervention mayor. On Tuesday, we're dealing with interventions in municipalities. And then you just shared with us, you are the only municipality that consults with your communities every month. Safe to say now they've been COVID. I think then you were listed by Cooperative, I think, as one of the dysfunctional municipalities. And then our interests would like to also get feedback from you, since you have been given this responsibility to turn around the municipality, maybe in future, because now we are on Zoom and MS Teams. We'd like you to share with us whether the turnaround strategy that we have put in place is working. So you can prepare that presentation. You will share with us the good and the bad, but it's for another day. We want to thank you for your time. Yes, you must always take it in mind that whenever we engage with you, there's no fault finding. And at least I'm glad that there are no scores that Mkalipi wanted to settle with you. In fact, she told me, in fact, she didn't even want us to proceed with this petition. She wanted it to be resolved, her coming to you and then you resolve the matter. But I told her, no. Once the petition is brought to us by the Office of the Speaker, there are rules that we have to follow. We need to process it. It's part of our oversight work. And we appreciate that you brought everybody, whoever is involved in the value chain, including the ward councillor, which is also so good on your part. Then we will still continue to engage. We have got interest in this metro as the portfolio committee. Like I've indicated, we'll write to you so that you can also come and share with us what has been your experiences, so that then the turnaround, what is it that you are doing, that you are trying to make eThekwini the ideal metro as is expected to be. But the colleagues, also the team from eThekwini, the councillors, the members of the management team, and the support staff, we want to thank you for your time. Also the colleagues, to say today it's a Friday. I'm pleading with you, rest, it's a weekend. I've since signed off the application to get the Gauteng provincial governments to come to us. So we should be ready should the House Chair approved next week. We should be dealing with the Gauteng provincial governments.
Honorable Chair.
Yes.
My apology. I thought you were also going to propose the way forward.
Yes, Chair. What's the way forward?
The way forward, when we deal with petition, we are going to meet as a committee and resolve on the way forward. There's no way forward. They've given us the information. That should be our in-committee meeting.
Okay.
That's how we deal with petition. That's how we deal with petition. That's what we've been doing, colleagues. Remember that.
No problem.
Mayor,
I had to remind you.
I think you are hearing what the Chair is saying. So you must cut that matter short and then call us aside. When the way forward is proposed here, you must tell the Chair that no, that matter is resolved.
Hey, you love this mayor when I'm coming. I love this mayor.
The meeting is
That one is my younger brother.
The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Good night, Commissar. Good night,
Thank you.
Honorable.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Good
thank you,
Good night,
Chair. Goodbye, mayor. Goodbye, colleagues.
Thank you.
my Commissar.
In you.
Bye, Pungane. Hey, Mkalipi, ayithanda le mayor yo.
Hayi boy, my brother.
Naye ayimthanda umeya.
Yes.
Mkalipi, you must choose. You seem to be confused now. Or Kaunda.
Expose the mayor, expose along it, including me.
Ngithawu ibamba ingcingo zami zoku-expose. Ngithawu ibamba ingcingo zami.
Now I'm going to say, I got you. When you